The nominees for British Game, sponsored by Yuki, are...
British Game, sponsored by Yuki. DMC Devil May Cry. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
Gunpoint. Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Oh, really?
The Room 2. Tearaway.
And the winner is... Grand Theft Auto 5!
Amazing. To say thank you very much. A lot of work went into this thing, as you can probably imagine, and so to get this for Britain, for the team, amazing. Thank you so much.
And with the legends that are from the Rockstar Studios. So first of all, you've got, wait, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you remember what they're all for, though? Can you?
No, I think we got one for design.
Okay, design,
One
okay.
for multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
One for best British game.
British game,
And
yes.
one for
Being old.
being old.
Being
yeah.
old.
Being at it a long time. Yeah.
Were you like, I mean, you guys, you know, you have such commercial success. How much does it mean to be getting sort of the sort of accolades that you get today?
Well, I mean, it's everything to get this sort of recognition from our peers and our friends in the rest of the industry is an enormous privilege for us. And when you combine that with the fact that the game players also seem to enjoy our games, it's a really wonderful thing.
I mean, you guys, obviously, it's just you can create these fabulous open worlds and then everyone just goes. Are you always sort of surprised by what people get up to in the worlds that you create a little bit? Because, I mean, you must have a rough idea what people might do, and then you must look on YouTube and think like, oh God, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly amazed by the direction the players are taking the games in, and now with YouTube and Twitter and all these networks of kind of dialogue we have with the audience, we're able to see the good and sometimes the not so good, and yeah, definitely the creepy, and it's a really exciting time for our medium to be having that two-way dialogue, because there's things you can respond to and react to when you see how the players are enjoying them.
Is there anything you would have said to yourself, like your version back at the start, that you know now that you would have liked to impart some wisdom upon? What have you learned through doing this particular game, do you think?
Lie to these guys where we're planning out features and then drop them on them at the end and everything. That's, you know, how we always do things. We always try and, you know, bite off more than we can chew. If you don't do that, you're going to do what you did last time. You know, for 13 years, we've been making very big games, jamming it onto the hardware harder than was possible.
Yeah.
The only way we can do that several times in a row and over this longer period of time is by always being more ambitious than ever seemed sensible. So I think at the start, we're always looking to make the biggest world, to put in the most characters, to have the most innovative multiplayer. And we've got a lot of ambitious people. You know, we've got, you know, those are the people that do well at Rockstar, the guys that really want to push hard. You know, we give a lot of freedom down to individual guys, but the ones that do well are the ones that really believe in the overall project and want to push their bit further than is sensible.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present this year's BAFTA Fellowship Award. Rockstar Games, and welcome Sam Hauser, Dan Hauser, Leslie Benjis, and Aaron Gerbert to collect
Thank you. This is a tremendous honour for us as a mostly British-run company and as passionate advocates of the medium, and also as lovers of British film and consumers as children of almost lethal amounts of British television. This is wonderful. We used to watch so much TV in the late 70s and early 80s that my closest friend was the test card. Now we stand here equal. Rockstar was founded with a mission statement that video games were the next mass-market entertainment medium, that they were uniquely interesting and powerful, and that we, as a company, would serve two masters to prove this fact, combining the production values of movies with an obsession with gameplay above all else. Back in 98 and 99, we began shouting this to whoever would listen. A few people laughed at us for our hubris, both in ourselves and in the medium. Most people simply ignored us. Now, as far as I know, this is the first time BAFTA have given an award to 900 people. The original game was based on watching too many American movies and watching all that overhead helicopter chase footage, which was the only camera we could use due to the limitations on the old hardware. But we always wanted to make an action movie when you actually felt like you were controlling a real character, and that's what we've done this time.
Rockstar Games was established as Take-Two Interactive's high-end console publishing division. As a result, we obviously focus on producing console games. We produce a reasonably small number a year, between about 8 and 10, of games that we make with a lot of love and care. We really want to make the kind of games we want to play. We've got a quite specific gameplay objective and desire to make things that really don't fit into existing genres, but kind of move the barriers on the kind of games people are playing onto another level, and basically the kind of stuff we wanted to play and enjoy.
And what are some of the titles you've
Well, our biggest franchise so far is Grand Theft Auto, which is currently run to 2 episodes and an expansion pack on PC and PlayStation. We've also been involved. We also made a great skateboarding game called Thrasher Skate and Destroy, Monster Truck Madness for Nintendo 64. And we're just coming up with a big load of PlayStation 2 titles this autumn.
Why do you choose to focus on console gaming as opposed to PC?
Predominantly because it's what we enjoy playing. I think it's a lot more of a communal experience.
You should have put the question.
Sorry, yeah. We focus on console games mainly because it's what we enjoy playing. I don't think you can make a good game, which is a kind of creative undertaking, if you don't enjoy what you're doing. And I just prefer console games to PC games, both the style of games, the pace of the games, and the whole joypad-based experience. A lot more fun on a console to me. Also, because it's based around a TV, it tends to be a lot more fun, more communal, multiplayer experience, rather than playing someone you've never met over the internet, who could be doing you don't know what at the other end of his PC. That's a bit dubious to me.
And what do you think about the PlayStation 2 you're developing? What do you think that you've developed for it, play games on it?
We're very excited about the potential of PlayStation 2. There's been a lot of industry-wide disappointment with the Japanese releases, but I think that's just they're Japanese-style games. The US and European releases for the PlayStation 2 that I've seen all look very impressive, and we intend to support the platform very heavily. Our initial lineup, we think, is very strong, the best games we've ever done, and we're really excited about the potential of the machine, both over its first 6 months of its life and the next 3 to 5 years, and possibly longer.
And what are the titles you're going to be releasing for the PlayStation 2?
Well, in 2000, we are releasing 3 titles of PlayStation 2, 2 very different driving games, both developed by Angel Studios, and Oni, which is a new kind of third-person action-adventure anime-style game developed by Bungie.
And you talked about the difference between the Japanese games and the American games.
Mm-hmm.
What is that difference? What's the different styles?
Well, I just think that games like films or literature or any kind of art form reflect the culture that they're made in and made for. And some games translate well internationally, obviously sports games in particular, but other things that the Japanese market's very interested into, like RPGs and some of the more obscure products like, say, Siemens Virtual Pet that came out on Dreamcast may seem a little niche in the US market. The European market's slightly different again. Obviously, I grew up working in that market, and that's a little closer to the US market, but again, it's different.
What's the difference between the UK market or the European market and the American?
Well, I think the obvious difference between the US and the European is there's a slightly higher degree of puritanism in US culture which can infiltrate into video games. And also, there's also a greater respect for licenses in this country than there is in Europe, where I think there's slightly more acceptance of new product and just a little bit more desire to see the original stuff done.
And what does the future hold for Rockstar Games? Where is Rockstar Games going to be in like 2 years, 5 years?
The future for Rockstar Games is hopefully very strong. We've only existed for 18 months now, and we're growing all the time. We've got very good relationships with the first-party hardware developers, and we intend to support that and move into internet gaming through the hardware machines that's now going to be possible within about 18 months from now.
And I guess my last question, what's your favorite thing about working in the game industry?
Well, certainly not the hours. That's probably the worst thing about the games industry. Just the satisfaction of having done something good, a good creative undertaking that's a good team-based thing, and getting things done. It's nice to work on a project-based job, so the work does end at some point, even though it can seem like it's never going to.
Cool, great.
And the 2 episodes that followed on from it. And we had 3 sets of stories in that slightly interacted. And having made several of these games in the past and always being scared of repeating ourselves and trying to find something new to say and trying to push interactive storytelling forward, it was something that simultaneously excited us and terrified us. So we began to look at it as something we wanted to do purely from a storytelling perspective, to have 3 stories with 3 separate characters. And then as we began to develop it, it turned into something initially on the missions, when you could have these 3 separate perspectives that could mean the missions could be sped up and be much more kind of high octane and make the action side of the game much more compelling. And then finally, the bit that's probably the most genius aspect of it, the thing we're most proud of, is the bit that's when it's off mission and you can cut between the characters and you get these moments that are simultaneously, narrative or give you biography of the characters, but in a way that could only ever work in a game. So it was something that we, and in an open world game really, it's something that we really leapt upon when it was suddenly giving us something for the narrative side of the story, something for the non-narrative side of the story, and something for the missions themselves. And it was at that point when this is a feature we really got to push through with. But it was a monumental amount of work, particularly for Rob and Rod over there, to bring all the animation to life.
Yes, and congratulations on all of that. For some of you guys, when you guys realized, okay, we're going to have 3 characters, what were your reactions? Was it terror? I mean, it really does open up like new challenges for animation, for world design, and all that.
Yeah, I think, a little bit of apprehension, but not much. I think the first thing that was, I guess, compelling and interesting was what you could do as a player on missions and sort of make sure that you're playing the stuff that we want you to play, and you don't really have to have any sort of dead space. And then we started thinking about the narrative implications and things like that, and then we started thinking about the technological challenges. But it's fun as well, because you don't have to, I don't know if a character like Trevor could maybe anchor a game all by himself, and so then you can start really pushing these guys into aspects of them that makes them special and not worry about him being balanced necessarily. And so that worked.
Yeah, I think 60 hours with Trevor. For those of you who don't know, there was a character in the game, one of the 3 leads, Trevor. I actually think it's one of the greatest characters I've ever seen in crime fiction, period. But he is unstable, methed out, and homicidal. And it would be tough to spend 60 hours with him.
Yeah, and so we, from the animation side of things, we were just able to, you could have a guy that was really good with weapons, you could have a guy that was really good with driving, and play with those things from a gameplay standpoint.
And also, in the world design, this massive, it's not just the city of Los Santos, it's also all the environments around it, the high desert, the mountains. Does that kind of lend itself towards the character of the city, of the geography?
How do you mean?
Well, that now you have these 3 different characters that live in different areas with different personalities. That you sort of there's the personality of the character, but also the personality
Of the city.
these regions.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, you can take people through those things in ways because they live there.
And it let us do a very good kind of red state, blue state contrast, which we'd never really been able to do in one location before. So I think that was something we had a more kind of...
I think what we're most looking forward to creating in a PlayStation 3 game is a truly realized, truly immersive, living, breathing world. This is what we live for. Every 5 or 6 years, this amazing company like Sony comes along and gives you this wonderful new piece of equipment that allows you to start unlocking your visions and unlocking the dreams that you've been having for however long. With Cell and with PlayStation 3, we feel very excited and very confident that we're going to be able to absolutely push the limits of what can be created and the experiences that we can immerse our audience in. We really know that we're going to be able to go to the next level in terms of realistic simulations and realistic immersions combined with incredible narrative, incredible storytelling, and those 2 components combined are what are going to create the experiences of the future.
Mr. Hauser. Oh, dude, it's a huge...
Hey, don't shake my hand, I'm ill.
Oh, okay. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Can I get your autograph?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, he's God. He's much more important than me.
I know, dude, please. Yeah. Both of you, please. Oh, my God. You guys... I came here from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. I came here also from Cape Cod on the midnight release at Union Square, man.
Oh, good.
I saw the Banshee and stuff.
Yeah, we were in the background.
Oh, you know what? I might have seen you, man. Oh, my God, dude. Both you guys. Such a...
honestly, I
ever
don't want to
since
get you
1997, man. Thank you so much. You too. Oh, that's awesome. Dude, that was Dan Hauser. I could cry right now. He just signed it. Are you serious? Yo, I just met Dan Hauser in Laszlo. That is insane. Dude, this is like a fanboy's dream come true. Oh, look at that shit. Look at that. Oh. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go cry. Oh my God. Peace.